If I could only say one ab exercise that is the best for achieving the six-pack, which one would it be? I was thinking about it a lot, but eventually I always came to the conclusion that the exercise I would say is the hanging leg raises. But why? I'm gonna explain in this video. What's up guys, it's Adam from gymnasticsmethod.com. If you don't want to miss my videos about bodyweight training and lifestyle, please subscribe and click on the bell. Thank you. And if you want to get access to all the Gymnastics Method workout programs, tutorials like planche, handstand or muscle up, nutrition guide, daily workouts and much more, click the link below and become a member now on gymnasticsmethod.com. Before we get into it, let's clarify a few important things. First, people are always asking about the best six-pack exercise, which one should they do? But the problem is that they approach this topic from the wrong side. Yes, training is very important, essential to build muscle, look better, etc. But as you probably already know, lifestyle and nutrition are another important things. Especially when we are talking about the six-pack. Your nutrition will have the most important role. Unfortunately, there is no magic exercise that will give you the six-pack no matter what. This is a huge misconception, and unfortunately, still a lot of fitness influencers say,
just do this exercise and get the six-pack in 4 weeks.
You won't. Only doing an exercise or exercises, you won't. Unless you have a low body fat percentage already. If it would be only about ab exercises, a lot of people will already have a visible six-pack.
Visible? What do you mean by that?
Second, everyone has six-pack. It's already there. The name six-pack comes from the anatomic shape of the abdominal muscles. For most people, it's 6 visibly separate muscles, that's why we call it six-pack, but it can be different. I'm sure you've seen 8-pack as well. The point is, since we are talking about anatomically defined looking muscles that are even if not visible, we can state everyone has six-pack or 8-pack or whatever. However, it's not necessarily visible because it's covered by fat, but it's there. So basically you just had to born to have a six-pack. Isn't it good news? The next step is don't be lazy and don't gain fat. Okay, let's jump to the other next step. How to get rid of the fat and get the six-pack visible. And we got back to the first point. Start to train, of course, but do your nutrition habits and lifestyle right and you will succeed. Don't rely on exercises only because you may be disappointed. It's actually funny because ab exercises are the only muscles you can't really gain. You can, but it's limited. So the hypertrophy won't be that spectacular than with any other muscles people usually want to gain. Like the chest, biceps, back, shoulders, etc. for which you can actually do some tricks to get the gains with exercises and affect them. However, most people ask which exercise they need to do for the six-pack. And for the others I mentioned, they ask which supplements should they use. However, they should ask these questions the opposite way. How to get my nutrition right to have a six-pack? And which exercises or techniques should I do to gain my chest? So the lifestyle and nutrition are keys to get the six-pack. But if we are talking about exercises, in this video I'm going to show you which exercise is the best exercise for the six-pack in my opinion, especially if you want to have those gains which are limited but possible. If you're interested in the nutrition part, you want to learn the basics and the most effective strategies we use with my students, click the link below and join now on gymnasticsmethod.com. So, leg raises. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, it's worth to train your abs 2 ways in calisthenics or gymnastics training with isometric and isotonic exercises. When you're doing isometric ab exercises, your abs are contracting but don't change their length. This is great for the handstand, body levers like front lever, back lever, human flag, etc. When you're doing isotonic ab exercises, your abs are contracting and change their length. You can benefit from the isotonic ab exercises in many ways, while doing the L-sit, V-sit, press to handstand, rings exercises, and even in the mana. Anyway, just a note. In addition to these two, rotational movements are extremely important. It's worth adding some rotational movements sometimes. So which one of these is the best for building muscle and six-pack? In fact, all of them if you do them right. Your abdominal muscles will contract anyway, but in a different way. And as we know, to build muscle, you need a certain level of muscle contraction and time under tension, and the type of muscle contraction can be isometric or isotonic. So both helps, I recommend to do both. But If I could only choose one, in my opinion, in terms of muscle building, leg raises are the best. Do you remember the most underrated ab exercise video? You didn't watch that. Anyway, watch it later because there are important informations in that video. If you watched it, you know the basics. Let's see the exercise. You can do leg raises on the ground, in support or hanging. The goal is to do leg raises in support or hanging. I personally prefer the leg raises in hanging. This allows the biggest possible range of motion and the maximum impact. Why is this the best six-pack exercise in my opinion? Because if you use your body weight only, you can hit your abs the most with this movement in terms of isotonic exercises. In a vertical body position, you can create the longest possible leverage that loads your abs by raising your straight legs. You need to move the weight of your legs using your abs with the help of your hip flexors and quads. Because of the weight of your legs, the created long leverage with the weight of your shoes if you wear them gives the most load you can train your abs, get them grow, and make them more visible. As I said, it's really limited but possible. You can't create heavier load with any other isotonic exercises, that's the best. Of course, with extra weight you can increase the intensity, which I personally don't recommend, maximum the weight of a pair of shoes that you wear. It's not worth risking the injury. I've heard from my many friends who have trained with extra weights and overloaded the hip flexors so much that they couldn't work out normally for weeks afterwards. Sure, everyone has their own decision on what to do, but I don't recommend it. We have already discussed what you need for the six-pack, and in terms of exercises, that's more than enough to do. I personally have never used weights for abdominal exercises. What do you need to be able to do the hanging leg raises? The better your posterior chain mobility and active flexibility, the more you can benefit from the hanging leg raises without any compensation. For many, in this range of motion, the hamstrings are the weaklings, but with the right exercises and stretches, this problem can be fixed. If you're interested in the 3 types of stretching you should do, check out the video on the channel. The other prerequisite of the hanging leg raises is the strength of the quads, hip flexors, and abs. We'll talk about the progressions and exercises I recommend later, but one of the prehab exercises I recommend is the hollow body position, which is a static exercise, but you will see why it's important. After that, you can build up the strength with the progressions and exercises, which I tell you in a bit. But now, let's see the key points and the right technique of the hanging leg raises. The starting position is a simple passive hang. Relax your shoulders completely. Just hang. You need to maintain this during the whole exercise. You don't need to activate your scapulas. You need to be passive with your arms, shoulders, and back. Basically, when you start the movement, your abs will be contracted, but even before you start the first rep, it's worth to activate your core. Keep your pelvis in neutral or posterior tilted position. From here, do leg raises in full range of motion with your feet leading the movement. Close your legs, keep your quads tight and your legs straight. Touch the bar with your feet. During the leg raises, keep your shoulders relaxed, concentrate on your abs, and keep your legs straight. Once you have reached the full range of motion, lower your legs controlled, don't fall down. When you return to the starting position, don't let your pelvis passively tilt forward or swing your legs back. Descend in a controlled manner and keep your core tight. The tempo should be controlled with the usual 1 second concentric and 1 second eccentric phase. Don't let your legs to swing with no control. Exhale when you're raising your legs, so in the concentric phase, and inhale when you're lowering your legs in the eccentric phase. The most common mistakes are when you're pulling with your arms and or back, losing control of the legs at the end of the movement, and swinging or using too much momentum. Just a quick note about momentum. There is difference between momentum and momentum. Basically, when you start this movement with no swing at all, when you raise your legs, it will create a little momentum, especially with lowering your legs after. So it's like you kick forward and then you lower your legs, it's most definitely creating a swinging movement of your whole body. Of course, you can avoid that if you are super slow, controlled, and you squeeze the bar. But normally, you will swing a little bit. It's not necessarily a problem, especially if you're a beginner in this move. You can take advantage of that minimal momentum. As you can see in this video, my body is swinging minimally during the exercise, but the movements are controlled. If the swing is bothering you a lot, you can touch the ground with your legs and stop the momentum. If you can't do that because the bar is too high, you can try to do the exercise super controlled, or you can do the exercise on wall bars and eliminate the momentum completely. As you see, there are many solutions and it's not necessarily a problem if you have a little momentum. Not to mention that gymnasts sometimes do the leg raises in support with momentum. On the P-bars, you can control the momentum more easily than on the bar. To achieve this exercise is simple. You can start doing the leg raises on the ground in tuck and then with straight legs. My personal favorites are the tuck sit-ups and the V sit-ups because you can create ab contraction both from the trunk and the leg side. I highly recommend doing them. After these, you can start doing the leg raises in support and hanging, in tuck, in half range of motion, with half extended legs, and then the final step with straight and closed legs. How many reps should you do from the leg raises? If you do nice and controlled reps in full range of motion, 5-6 reps are a decent level, but you can go up to 10 to 15 reps. You can't go wrong with this exercise if you want to get the six-pack, not to mention that you can benefit from it in many different exercises. But don't forget the lifestyle and nutrition part, which I can help you with on my website. Other than that, if you're interested in the complete, proven to work gymnastics method system and want to learn all the most effective and iconic gymnastics and calisthenics exercises and want to get the shredded physique of a gymnast, click the link below and join now on gymnasticsmethod.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did so, please like, share and write a comment what do you want to see in the next videos. If you don't want to miss the new videos, subscribe with notifications on and see you next week in the next video.